Okay, hello everyone. My name's Sugi Yamagawa, and today I'm VTubing my slow life in my 30s. We're starting the next woodworking project. And before all that, I would like to say good evening to you, Dad's old shop. Hope you're having a good day. I hope you're staying warm out there. It's definitely a rough day for staying warm out there. It has been far too cold out here in eastern North America right now because unfortunately for us, Canada decided to share its air with us, and well, now us Americans have to deal with Canadian conditions, and it's rough. It's rough. We're not used to this. Canadians, they're used to this. But for us, but for us, it makes my heat pump make sad noises. But yeah, so we're going to be starting the next project. Next project for the channel is going to be a flip tool workstation. You might be wondering, what is a flip tool workstation? A flip tool workstation is a workstation that has a tool and the top flips. So you can basically have two tools in one space. Right now, this piece of wood I have here is on where I keep my table saw. So this is traditionally table saw land. This is a stand for one tool. What we're building today is going to be a stand for two tools. I don't know what the second tool's gonna be. I know what one tool's gonna be, but I don't know the second one. I don't know if I'm gonna get an oscillating sander or not. But yeah, howdy to you, Mr. Spock. I hope you're having a good day, and I also hope you're staying warm. It's really cold out right now. Sorry, I'm just trying to win a duck. Well, I hope you... Wait, trying to win a duck? Oh, come on, you could have won that duck. I'm sure you could have won that duck. You deserve that duck. But yeah. So, as you can see here, I have myself this piece of plywood. It's here. I won 2 ducks last month. Well, good for winning 2 ducks, though. I'm glad you won ducks. But yeah, so we have ourselves here a nice, lovely sheet of 3/4 plywood, and it's a pretty big piece of plywood. We need to make it a small piece of plywood. I've actually already broken down this to this point because yeah, I've broken down like full-size sheets of plywood on stream, and I hated every minute of it. I deeply hated every minute of it. And for any streamers out there, like, whatever you do, just don't break down full sheets of plywood on stream. It is the most awkward. It is the roughest thing in the world. Now, granted, my life has been made easier because I have portable circular saw without a cord. Like, there's no cord. It's battery powered, and it's Makita. It's weeb like me. This has been... The ducks get entered into a duck race to win comic book prizes. Ooh, okay. Fun. Fun. But yeah, we're not doing comic books prizes today. We're playing with plywood. And this is going to be... I ideally, hopefully fun. I'm expecting it to be fun. So, for this project I'm getting into, I am expecting to hopefully knock it out in 3 streams. So today's stream, stream 1, is going to be like taking our various pieces of lumber and getting these pieces of lumber to the appropriate sizes. Stream number 2 is going to be like actually working with the lumber and actually doing some of the various cutting, because we actually get to do some pretty fun cutting with this. We get to drill some holes, we get to cut notches. Unfortunately, I am not really going to be showcasing the plans too much, because these are plans that are typically located behind a paywall. And so, but if anyone here is interested in these plans are the weekend. They're in the Weekend Woodshop series of plans that Steve Ramsey's has out, which, admittedly, he's probably one of the better woodworking YouTubers. And I am trying to make one of his plans. And yeah, I'm not entirely 100% good at this, but you know what? I try. And more importantly, I try to have fun. And that's, admittedly, at the end of the day, the most important thing. But yeah. So we've got ourselves some 3/4 ply here. And that's my main goal for today, is to kind of get this. I've also got some pine board I need to get cut down, which, since I see a certain individual here who likes hand tools, we'll be hand tooling that. But if people wish to be negative influences, which we certainly have some of that here today, I mean, I have no problem whatsoever making it happen with Mikita-kun. So. But yeah, okay. So I've got this first piece of plywood. Any panel making, I love a good panel. I don't think we're doing like we're gonna be like cutting panels down to size, but we're not gonna be doing the milling. That's next stream, because I have new thing. I have this thing. This is the newest addition to my tool set, to my tool options, is dado set, which supposedly, according to the internet, is going to be very game changing for me. But this is the project I will actually be cutting my teeth on with this technology. I have to get some 5-gallon bubble hash bags. Honestly, that statement just makes me think of the idea of having like 5 gallons of hash browns, and the simple idea of 5 gallons of hash browns makes me want to foam at the mouth and become very feral. Just like, oh goodness gracious, hash browns, 5-gallon bucket. Let's go. But yeah, stacked dado set. First time with me working with this. Granted, sorry guys, this ain't gonna happen today, but this will be happening next time. Now, funny enough, in Sugi fashion, I purchased this and I was like, cool, I've got stacked dado set. I'm good to do dados, right? Nope. I need a throat plate. I needed to have a throat plate for the dado stack, so I now have a throat plate for that. So I now have all the various goodies I need in order to actually do dados. But But yeah, panel making is not going to happen today, but it will be happening next time. Staple it over here and be good. Okay. So, we got ourselves a piece of plywood here. Now, for the, so you can build shelves. So dados are to cut grooves and to help me cut rabbits. Dado stacks are definitely a very powerful tool, but they are also a very scary tool because it's basically 2 blades plus chip breakers, and it's very aggressive. It's a very aggressive tool connected to a lot of power, and yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like a little bit intimidating. It sounds like a transmission. Okay. You're kind of not wrong with that comparison. So we crack our dado stack open. So as we can see up here, we have saw blades. I think now this I've actually just cracked it open for the first time, but today, just now. But yeah, up here, essentially we have 2 saw blades. And they're very coarse teethed at that. So up there is our saw blades. And we're going to have 2 saw blades side by side. And then in between the saw blades, we're going to have, well, we get some shims, which are these brass pieces. And then we have these chip breakers, which are these guys. And it's basically this thing you kind of build out depending on your cut. But yeah, it's kind of a scary thing. A dado stack set. But you know what? It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I have to cross. It's firmly in. I have to cross this bridge at some point in time, and this project says I have to cross this bridge now. Like right now. Not necessarily like right now, but in the... But if I wish to build this project according to how it is originally planned, now's the time to do it. Now, granted, I am looking forward to how this is going to help me do like grooves and rabbits. There's going to be a lot of cluster of saw blades is scary. That means your brain works normally enough. That's old shop. I should just be throwing caution to the wind. A cluster of saw blades with associated metal parts. I should just be like, oh great, this is just a normal day in Normalsville. Like nothing different here. Now, granted, my ability to calculate risk is very, 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 like exceptionally poor. Like exceptionally poor. Okay, so to be 100% honest with everyone here, the reason why this stream is happening in the evening versus the original scheduled morning is this morning I had 3 issues. Issue number 1 was after last night's alcohol making and alcohol consuming stream, I became very eepy. And the problem is I actually don't have any Festivus plans right now because I am very feral and very single, and I have no great plans to change it. But yeah, I have this really bad habit where if I drink, I don't even have to drink a lot of alcohol. I just have to have like enough to get like a good buzz going. And then if I take a shower, as soon as I walk out of my shower, my bed becomes the most gorgeous thing in existence. And if I lay in my bed, I pass out, and then I wake up and congratulations, Sugi, you've arrived at 1 a.m. And that's what happened last night. I had a congratulations, you've instantaneously transported yourself to 1 a.m. And it's like, I was hoping to like hydrate a little bit more and like be in a better position, you know, those types of things. Hearing your grievances is the best part. Oh gosh. That alcohol shower time machine. Oh man, it is powerful, man. Like absolutely incredibly powerful. Don't underestimate it. Because alcohol plus shower is just like, okay, boop, gone, and it's like, okay, what happened to the last 5 hours? Or 4 hours? Like, something happened to those hours. What happened? I don't know what happened to those things. But yeah, so that was issue number 1. That was issue number 1. Issue number 2, and issue number 2 was peak dumb Sugi things. I have a smokeless fire. It's not a fire pit, but it's a fire crucible. It's a really small thing, which let's not talk about this. Let's talk about the thing that let's not talk about a thing that's hurt me yet, and let's actually talk about a thing that's actually hurt me. So this thing I'm about. So this is my, essentially it's a smokeless fire thing. I can make fire happen in here, and I have holes around the side that allow air in, and then on the inside there's holes at the bottom. There's also a rim of holes around the edge. Basically this works on the same principle as a smokeless fire pit, and because of the gratuitous amounts of cold we're currently experiencing, I thought it was a good idea to get a fire going in the shop this morning. And well, it made a bunch of smoke at the start because that's what it does when it's starting up. And I got it started up, and I was like, air kind of smells a little bit funny. And then I got my carbon monoxide meter out, booted it up, and then brought it into the shop, and then the carbon monoxide meter was like, I've got like 80 parts per million carbon monoxide, and with a decent amount of exposure, that's enough to cause some headaches. I cooked a perfect homemade pizza while blacked out drunk a few years back, woke up and there was a perfectly cooked pizza. Slices wrapped in the fridge. Oh my gosh. See, that's a good thing. Like, if you're like in the middle of something and they're like making a food or whatever, I apparently ate 2 slices. Yeah, like when you're like ever so slightly inebriated and you're like working on like a food, and then you just forget finishing the food, but then you wake up and then it's like, oh, there's a food here. I like food. And it's also a food I like. Thank you, drunk me. I don't think I've ever had an experience like that powerful though. Usually my thing is like, I drink some alcohol, I get my nice like little bit of buzz going, and then it's like, okay, this is nice, I like this, and then it's like, okay, it's time to get a shower. I get my shower, and between the shower and my buzz, I now am assaulted with enough EP to drive my body into the floor like Goku training at 100 times normal gravity. It's generally how things go for me. But yeah, so this gave me a really nice dose of carbon monoxide poisoning. So I had a slight debuff to a little bit of Sugi oil filled space heaters are like under $10 and under $100. Okay, so funny enough, I actually have an electric space heater. Oh my gosh, another thread of conversation. I have an electric space heater that I've used in the shop before, and I actually used it today for stuff. Guess what? If I did stream this morning, I would have actually killed the stream, because running the space heater and my equipment and then adding my tea kettle to it would pop the circuit breaker. Because most of my shop is supported by one circuit. Granted, there's also a second circuit that supports it, which I do for whenever I run my table saw or any other large power tool. Those will always be run to the second circuit. So yeah, even if I did a stream this morning, I would have actually killed the breaker during the stream. Just because I would have just had the space heater running, would have had my equipment running, and then be like, okay, chat, I'm gonna like make some water, and well, would you look at, and then you guys would just be like, and the stream's just gone. The stream's just gone now. But yeah. Now, one of the reasons why I actually have my carbon monoxide meter I mentioned earlier, and also another reason why I don't need a oil-filled space heater from Amazon, is I have this bad boy. I have the Kero-san, the greatest piece of Japanese technology from the 80s. Which actually does not make that much CO. It does make some. But the amount is like under... It has never raised carbon monoxide above 5 parts per million anytime I've measured it. So I feel very safe with that. Oil-filled heaters are generally less power intensive once they're too temp. The oil's the buffer. Yep. It's in front of the compartment in my basement to make sure pipes don't freeze. Yeah, now, thankfully, I haven't had any issues with pipes freezing at my house. But the Kero-san is basically like it's basically my... Whoa, indoor fire scares me. Oh, Dad's old shop, you youngster. The Kero-sans were like the technology in the 80s for keeping your house warm. There was actually a period of time, oh gosh, when was that? Back in 2009, my location on the rotation had a really bad ice storm, and power to the homestead was knocked out for like 4 to 5 days in below freezing temperatures. It wasn't like super cold, right? Because right now it's like super cold, but it was just like generally cold, like 20s. Nothing too terrible, but like, okay, like it can be a little bit rough if you don't have power. So my family had a kerosene. So that actual kerosene heater you see was running in my basement, and then we had another one upstairs, and we actually ran 2 kerosene heaters, one upstairs, one downstairs, and then my whole family, we slept in the living room and then slept in shifts. So there would always be someone awake just in case things got a little too yabai, they could wake up the rest of the family. That never happened, which, based off how the kerosene heater I have right now behaves, and the fact that I actually have an actual, like, so after running my indoor fire pit out of this, the carbon monoxide measurement got up to over 80 parts per million with this, which was certainly it wasn't like, that's not like super dangerous territory, but that's like, okay, we're kind of in spicy territory, and if I'm not smart about what I do next, I'm gonna have a bad time. Well, yeah, I mean, that's also like another thing is with like some of my risks is like I have a tool that helps me measure the risk. So it's like, okay, I'm exposing myself to this amount of risk. I can take my tool, I can measure that amount of risk, and then be like, okay, where am I on the risk spectrum? Am I? Because, like, say we take our handy dandy tape measure. If we're on the low end of the risk spectrum, which right now with just the kerosene heater running, we're very low in the risk spectrum. Like, right now, that I know pretty much for a fact that I have less than 5 parts per million of carbon monoxide in my shop right now. That's fairly safe territory. Whereas this morning, when I was approaching 80 parts per million, that's at 80 parts per million, long-term exposure can be bad. And one of the symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning at reasonably long intervals is headaches. Now, my original plan for today was to use good old table saw Coon here to do a lot of the cutting of these boards. And I was looking at where the amount of carbon monoxide I had inadvertently been consuming, and then looking at the fact that I plan to use power tools, and some people are worried about power tools and alcohol, and then they are correct. They should be concerned about combining power tools and alcohol. But also, like, don't combine power tools and carbon monoxide poisoning. You're gonna like that's a whole other, like, buddy, you're just setting yourself up to fail at that point. Like, don't do that to yourself. You're worth taking care of, and you're worth, no project's important enough to put yourself in that much harm's way. It's a simple fact of the matter. No project is worth putting yourself through that much harm. So, let's see. I covered that factor, and oh yeah, so that's two of the 3 factors I was dealing with this morning. The third factor was my heat pump was kind of in trouble. And with the heat pump, my heat pump has a very small refrigerant leak in it, and it's located somewhere within the heat pump, and I actually have no idea where it's located at. But I charged it up with refrigerant going in the fall season, going into the winter season, just to make sure it was in a position where it could do the things it needed to do. But I had inadvertently overcharged it, so my heat pump was acting up. So it's like, okay, it's ultra cold. I have carbon monoxide poisoning right now, and my heat pump's acting up. I've got a little too many things on my plate right now. Hence why we did not do this in the morning, but we're here today. We are here now to do things. And this is a whole lot of rambling for... We haven't done any woodcuts yet. So, I have a few of these pieces already pre-cut to reasonable width. I need to figure out where I'm at. So the piece I have right here is 5.5 inches. So this one is going to be. So I'm actually going to cut a bottom panel out of this. The width of my panel is going to be. So from the dimension that my tape measure is measuring, it's 25.5 inches. Now, from my edge out, I want 23 and was it 23 3/4? 23 3/4. Yay, 23 3/4. I can work with that. I can really work with that. So, to actually get started in what we're actually here to do today, go ahead and start getting some marks going on. So, whenever I'm working with like large pieces of plywood like this, I always like to do one mark down low, one mark up high, and then I'll bust out this good old friend of mine. Now, this good old friend of mine, this is ancient technology. Some of the Zoomers may not be too particularly familiar with it. This is also why when I make my marks, I mark these. So, this is called a snap string. So I get it lined up on my two V's, give it a snap, bada bang, bada boom. I have a line down my board. And that line is the line I want to cut. Easy peasy. Like, granted, now honestly, chalk lines for breaking down plywood, really useful stuff. Really useful. Take your time. I appreciate this stream while I'm carving Christmas ornaments. Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, because there's actually a lot of streamers that are taking off during this time. Which, I mean, good for them if they need it, but in my case, it's just like, I'm definitely in the position where I don't necessarily have to take time off, but I certainly can do the thing. Let's see. Does that fit? Hot. Turn. Can you turn the other way? Hot diggity dog. Yeah. Oh, that's what I love. That's what I love. But yeah. And this is actually one of the things I really like about my table saw station. Good, too many streamers don't. I mean, that is more than fair. That is definitely the scariest thing. Hey, are you just going to keep popping on me? Don't do that. Get tight. Cool. Board circuit. Yeah, that's like, I kind of honestly get it if you depend on streaming for your income. Because if you don't do the streams, someone else is going to do streams, and they're basically going to like eat your lunch or eat your audience or etc. etc. There's a lot of that happens in streaming. Well, streaming is also one of those things where it kind of becomes a race to the bottom, because the market is so saturated. There's always people willing to like hop in and like eat somebody's lunch. And that creates an environment where a lot of people get very nervous for taking time off and doing stuff. So, I'm going to throw me down some pieces of tape. the pieces of tape are for labels. So that way I can, so I marked them 25.5, because that is basically what this width is. This helps me keep track of, it's a way for me to help, it is a way to help me keep track of pieces. Actually, I need to not take my line there. What do I need to do? What the? This is unnecessarily exciting. Okay. Well, my line is very clearly not square. Let's see here. How can I judge / somewhat reasonably fix this? Because I'm kind of concerned about that. Because this is one of the things that... What the? That's reasonable. Look at that. It's even. It's even. It's very even. Like, I don't know if the tape measure is wrong. I don't know if this is wrong. I don't know what's going on. Goodness gracious. Granted, I do... Well, actually, wait a second. Because this should be... Wait. Because that should be 23 and... Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then they burn out and unexpectedly break. I get the financial... But I get the... Yeah. Because that's the thing, like, a lot... That happens with, like, a lot of streamers is... Whenever they're not streaming, they're not making money, you know? Which, honestly, is kind of one of the reasons why I have my various chuckles at times, is simply because of the fact, like, hey, I am here 100% as a hobby tier streamer, so I don't really care about the long term. But yeah, okay. This is... We've done so much yapping. We really need to make a cut happen. Truly need to make a cut happen. So let's make a cut happen here. Woo! Chop chop. There you go, Mr. Spot. Keep me on task. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much for keeping me on task. So we're supposed to have a piece that is 23 3/4. Yep, that's pretty close. By 25.5, and we are definitely within those measurements. Yippee! So I can remove my various clamps and various oh, come on. Please and thank you. Jiggles out. There we go. So this is going to be one of my pieces. Now I am going to be cutting. There's going to be a 25.5 by 23 3/4 piece from the set I just cut. There's also going to be a... No, I just need this one piece. Yep, I just need this one piece because the other piece I'm going to be making a... I'm I'm going to be making slightly different cuts to that one. Which is probably going to be this guy. Which is funny enough. The 25.5 measurement is probably going to get foobarred because... So, I was originally thinking with these pieces of cutting these at the table saw. The thing is, these were originally 4 foot across pieces of plywood. Now, 4 foot by 25.5 inches is not really all that big. It's not all that awkward. It's not the worst thing in the world to work with. But I was like, you know what? This is going to be a little bit rough. So that's why I used the battery saw to make my battery circular saw to make that cut just now. Was because I felt like this was a little bit too much material for running through my table saw. Considering I don't have a whole lot of supporting surface around my table saw. I don't have a cabinet table saw, a cabinet shop table saw, which, if you want to know what a cabinet saw table saw looks like, that is the big fancy ones where you can have like really big pieces of wood on and you can do stuff with. I'm a little bit more limited, which is admittedly fine. Admittedly, it's fine, but we're gonna have some pieces here that are gonna get cut up later at the table saw, because at the point where they're at now, we can actually really work with them. But for now, if I'm thinking right, this is one of my 24-inch pieces. I think this is going to be a horizontal panel. 24 inches. Maybe a little bit generous, but that is more than fine. A little bit generous is okie dokie, hunky dory as far as I'm concerned. So, once again, second verse, same as the first. We're going to want 23 3/4 inches out of this feller. So, I'm going to do a V down here at 23 3/4. And then I'm going to come up here, get a reasonable line. And then at 23 3/4, make a V. Check my V. Yep, my V looks pretty good. There. And then my okay. That's the first time I got my sleeve stuck on my saw stand. That's new. So we'll do that one. That side of my chalk line there, other side of my chalk line here. Give it a nice snap. And there we go. One nice line. Which really the chalk line, where the chalk line shines the most is when you're trying to break down full-size panels. Like when you're having to make like whole 4-foot cuts, being able to snap a chalk line is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Like, being able to just measure off one of your factory edges and then snap a line and be like, okay, I am set up. I can just work now. It's great stuff. It is absolutely great stuff. Absolutely incredible stuff. I'm gonna tighten up. Great. My piece is secure. Let's get some hydration in me. Hydration is important. Grab. Battery saw coon. Now we can make another cut. Woo-hoo, there we go. And that turned out nicely too, because this one didn't flop off on me. I gotta love it when they don't flop off on me. Now, one thing I will say I do with my plywood when I'm working with it, if you look right above my hairline up there, you will see an upside down F. Upside down F, I put Fs when I'm first breaking these boards down out of the full size sheet of plywood. I will always put Fs to mark factory edges, because this edge I just cut just now may not be 100% straight. It may not make for a good reference edge. Whereas the factory edges, those are good reference edges. So, for example, for like a piece like this, if I say wanted to run this piece through my table saw to make sure I had my full 23 3/4, I could put my reference side. Well, the F side is the factory edge side, is the side I will want to have next to my fence as I ran my other side through the table saw. But yeah, that's what this is about. These two pieces are supposed to be the same. I'm not sure if I want to label them. I'm not sure if I wish to label or not. That is... Oh. I lost the rubber, man. But theoretically, well, you would think this is 23 3/4, but my kerf does not take that much off. This is actually a hair bit over 24, so this is actually a piece that needs to get cut down. It's a little bit long for what we want. So some people can honestly just write on it with their, the pencil. Me, admittedly, I don't know, I'm a weirdo. I like using painter's tape. So I'm going to write cut. So I know to set this up to the point where I need to cut enough off this edge to get the rest of this to 23 inches 3/4 is what I want to do with this piece of wood. Now it's kind of like a big thing. So, now we get our biggest feller of the evening. So this is actually going to be one of the side panels for the shop furniture we're making today. Well, we're not making the shop furniture all in one stream. It's way too much work. Way too much work. But we are going to at least be getting some pieces cut out. But yeah, so once again, I want 23 3/4. 23 3/4 on the bottom. Then we go up top. And then for the top, we make a nice little V up there. And then we get our handy dandy chocolate out. And I'll line that up reasonably within first line, second line. Snap a line across. And that's a pretty good line. And then if I wish to be extra, I can take my square, bring it up to my line. Make sure one side is fully referencing one side, and then I can just bring it in. And then I just want to see a nice even gap between where my between where my ruler sits and my line sits. And that means my line's reasonably square to my edges, which is, guess what, guys? That's kind of the hardest part about doing what we're doing. It's getting a line square to the edges. And then once we get this piece cut out, we'll actually get to have some other fun. Granted, we're actually gonna be moving on to table saw fun. Actual nice proper table saw fun. Okay. And let's get that tightened up. That gets a nice little bit of grip on it. So we have our piece secured. It is very important to always make sure your pieces are secured. And with all that, we can now grab our saw and get the cutting. Woohoo! It got dusty in here. Woohoo! It got real dusty in here. Did I need to turn that on. One moment, chat. There we go. Now I have my air filter on. So now that should help keep the air a little bit cleaner around here. Okay. There we go. I had to use my sander for the ornaments. I haven't had fine wood dust in so long. It sucks. Sir, I use power tools. Fine wood dust is just a fact of life around here. It is just an absolute, like, this is a perfectly normal thing. And it's a thing I deal with. But there we go. That is a piece done. We're going to set you over here. This piece I'm going to take off. And I'm going to just snap it against my floor. With the purpose of snapping it on the floor is to get that dust onto the floor. Yeah. So we're going to also want to, once again, like some of our other stuff, we're going to want to take a little bit. And the pencil. I always need a dust mask or I get messed up sinuses. Honestly, I don't think I get really messed up sinuses. I just like really notice like the air getting tacky and like an undesirable aspect. Like it's like, oh gosh, the air is like not good anymore. Whereas the air was good, you know? Granted, I will say the Kerosene has done a fabulous job at getting the heat up here. Because it's like, because we're at like 66 degrees. I gotta get I don't know if you want to get Sugi strong, buddy. I don't necessarily think my ability to endure sawdust is a desirable aspect. I think it's more of a I can kind of just endure. I can endure through the pain sort of deal, and that's kind of just like the yeah. You don't want to be in a position where you just straight endure through the pain. Like just like respect your health. Respect your health. I think I can. I think I can confidently say that's a good idea, regardless of like who you are, where you're at in life, blah 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 blah. Respect your health. Your health is important. Your health is the most important thing you own. That is, I feel like, very important things to iterate on. Yeah, we can lock that there. We're not necessarily at 100% ideal parts right now, but we're really dang close. Nope. So now we can actually start to start trimming this stuff. So let's see here. I wanna, because goodness gracious, we have to do like 20, 33 quarter, I think. So we're looking at around about there for that. Do I have 3/4 scrap? I don't think I have 3/4 scrap. But so I don't have 3/4 scrap, so I think what I'm gonna do is this. I don't know. I actually don't know what this is. So if I reference that, the edge just barely hits my blade. That means this should go through the blade. This means this should go through the blade of doom, as I can reference against the side. I generally just aim for about 1/4 of an inch of my blade getting above my work material. Having the blade, less blade above your material, of course, is always safer. Now, one of the good things about having less blade above your material is, well, not only the safety of these thingies, you protect these things. Another aspect of it is when this blade spins, the teeth bite down into the wood versus trying to send it across, which is kind of one of the reasons why you want the blade to be a little bit higher than the thickness of your material, because you get a hair bit more down pressure on your workpiece. Okay, so supposedly the distance between this blade and this fence is 23 3/4. I'm gonna just, what the frick? That is very wrong. That is wretchedly wrong. That is not even close. That's like 24 3/8. Well, no, it's not 21. It's not 24 3/8. It's 24. 24 1/4. Isn't it funny that if you saw a table saw, you would see it make saw boards? Saw boards. I feel like you're referencing something, but I don't get the reference. Sawn boards, like past tense. I'm thinking about this too hard. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it too hard. I don't know. Okay, so It definitely looks like. Granted, honestly, ooh. English is jank. Saw is past tense of see, but the past tense of sawing wood is sawed. Yes! English is just terribly jank. Just terribly jank. I need to check something here, buddy. Guys. Well, that checks out. Okay. I was a little bit worried that my saw might have been out of like 90 degrees, but it's within 90 degrees, so. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this. Yep, okay. So it looks like I cannot trust my reference down here. It can get me close, but it's not 100% trustworthy reference. So that seems really close. So I'm now going to lock it. Then we're going to try it down here. Hot, wait. That might be taking a... So we're really close. We're like... We're like the width of the saw blade close. And one of the reasons why... Whoa. That's... Wait a second. Wait a second. This is weird. Okay. That's weird. Okay, so what's going on is my saw blade it seems to be a little bit like this. Based off what my tape measure is telling me. So, in the event where you have a measuring device that you're not trusting, Jiminy Crickets. This isn't a good reference. It's not perfect. So, what's my distance? Okay. Yep. Damn it. How do I find a just list? And I think I see what my problem is. I have pitch rod. I like those for stuff like this. Honestly, what it seems to be, it's not my pinch rod. Well, pinch rod's the thing you use to solve the problem. It seems like my fence is bent out this way a little bit. Hence, when I'm referencing here, I'm a little bit too far out for versus like in here. Like if I'm measuring at the front of my blade, I'm at my 23 3/4. But if I go to the back of the blade here, I'm at 24. I'm a 1/4 inch off across the length of my blade, which puts me in close territory, but not ideal. And I know there's ways to work with this to get it perfect, but weird. I have never actually dealt with my... Ooh. I've never dealt with my fence being out of level, but I think I know the solution. Let's see here. Should unlock it. Your fence rack and pinion. How does it extend up? Honestly, I don't Wait, how does it extend? How does it extend? Well, I don't necessarily know. For now, I'm honestly gonna we're gonna just be doing looking at. Yeah, maybe some dust and chips in the mechanism. That could be part of it. But I'm not sure if I want to play with fence necessarily versus. I don't know. I'm kind of at the point where it's like I'm really close to splitting hairs on it. I don't know. The question is do I want to worry about? Ooh, that actually needs to go out more now. Release. Can you bring it in and put an inch? This. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Because you're talking about something like bringing it in. Actually, I know the. Wait. I'm so close, but I can't quite do it. I actually need to rework this thing at some point. Because for some reason the table saw's moved a little bit, and it's But just looking at how my fence references off this group, my T-track, I think is a good. So the far edge here is 87 millimeters on that side of the world. Well, wait a second. You're saying 87 millimeters. So it's. Honestly, I think I'm getting very close to where I want to be. Wait a second. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, so here's what. Okay, I think I have the answer. So I am now currently past my measure, right? Right? So I'm gonna bring it really close to my measure now. This bit of my fence is hitting this board. I'm pretty sure that's my shenanigan. No? Because it has to be further out. Which I can do that for extra support. Damn it, my theory was wrong. Now, there are times where that would probably be the case. But it is affecting it, but it's not affecting it how I thought. Something is... I suspect my fence is out of alignment, but I'm splitting woods. I'm splitting hairs at like 1/8 of an inch for shop furniture, and I'm just like, nah, this ain't worth it. I don't think this is worth it. Now, I'm going to have to be really careful with how I rip this because that's the biggest issue with doing the rips, with the fence being off. Oh, 1/8 is fine. 1/4 is bugger. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm at 1/8 right now. Because, yeah, that's like 23 3/4. Yeah, we're at the point where we're at like, we're at the point where we're splitting like 1/8 ends. You can always shim the end, put a 1/8 shim on the far end. I mean, yeah, or a lot. So I'm trying to think what this part's going to be, because this is the 25. This is the 25.5 by. Oh, this is the 25.5 by like 3. So this is 25. So this is 25.5 by 3 by 23 3/4. This is bottom panel. This is bottom panel. Like, this is. Everything's gonna sit on this. This is, and everything sits on this. So this is like really ultra, like, who the F cares? This is really ultra, who the F cares? Ugh. Granted, that's also a 25 3/4 piece right there. Woo! It sounds like send it. Yeah, pretty much. We're sending it. So, we're going to be using... I've got my factory F. This is my factory side. This is the side I'm going to use. But yeah. We send it. Wait. Aw, Jiminy Crickets. Did I not plug that in? I did not plug that in. The extension cord doesn't work, Sugi, if you don't plug the other end in. Silly Billy. And I have to plug it into the other end because the other... So, the one outlet that I like to plug that extension cord into is the one outlet that's not tied to the circuit that runs the stream. Okay. Don't get splinters, buddy. Okay. And that is kind of sort of the issue with the thing is, as you see, I get a really tapered off cut. And then I end up with like this gap. Granted, this has also been like a somewhat this is not the first time this has happened. This is not the first time this has happened, and I really want to put that. I really want to put this piece of plywood on that saw blade, and that is a very dangerous thing to do. Don't do that, chat. Don't put your saw blade. Don't put that. But that's fine there, and that's fine there. But I got a tapered cutoff, which is my kind of like, okay, because that's 23 and the 3. Because this side, towards me, is like 23 3/4, like perfect. Whereas if we go to the far end, we're like a 6. Whereas at the far end, we're like a 16th. 1/16 too thick, which does not justify this much wood. So either the piece was really not square to begin with, or there's some other shenanigans going on. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. So, I do have... So, the 25.5s are going to be a little bit weird because I need a 25.5 by 23.75 for my bottom panel. But that is for the bottom panel. That's only one panel. That's one piece. I now have to worry about my... I want to worry about my other pieces because I worked really hard to set the distance between my saw blade and my fence at 23.5 inches. So we're now at the point where we do a whole bunch of sanding. Which honestly, this is my other... Just being back, I was at a Star Trek Politics Convention. That sounds like a fun place to be on the internet. Okay, cool. So, this does tap my blade. So I do wanna trim this. So I'm gonna get some water in me. Clear off my table saw because, well, a clear, mess-free table saw is a safe table saw. Jiminy Crickets. That is not appropriate. That is not 100% kosher. That should be a little bit more kosher. Which the kosherness is relating to. How's the beer to safety ratio going? Working on it. Which, by the way, isn't athletic. So, beer has been consumed, but nowhere near enough to endanger my well-being. Okay, so that is a piece ran through. We have a whole bunch of other pieces to run through. Okay. So some of these I've labeled earlier with a cut side, which there's my cut tape right there. Oh yeah. Okay. So let's work through some of these other guys. And there we go. Now, in that case, we actually got a pretty even strip. Ooh. Whoa! Oh, that's the heat pump going into defrost mode. So, we'll take the cut tape off, because that's pretty good cut. Now, I do want to do a double check. I like double checking. I like triple checking. I like doing all the checks. Yeah, you know what? We're pretty good. We're pretty good there. This one's good. Woohoo! So that's that piece. I got that piece there. Hello, you down here. You down here. Did I put a what do we got going on with you? So that's my factory side, because a lot of these pieces are supposed to be. So that passes straight through my blade. We're not worried about that. So we can now go to these guys over here. Oh, hey, look! So these two I think are my side panels. These are 29 inches across. And yep, this one definitely needs to go through the table saw. 420, oh, 420 alert! Darn it. I screwed up. It's an easy fix-up, but it's a fix-up because what my issue was is I was hitting my mic stand. Which is no big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's just like when I was trying to feed it through, the edge of my board was hitting, well, let's recreate the scenario. That's not granted. That at least works. There we go. Because my other pieces I could pass through because they're a little bit shorter. There we go. So what was happening is dink. Hey, boom mic would fix that. Oh no, I'm being called out for my mic game. I mean, honestly, I want to figure out a slightly better solution, but that works. This right here works, so I can lock my other caster, give my table saw station a nice good little shake. Doesn't want to do anything, which is very important. It not doing anything is very, very, very important. I can bring this back, bring my panel back towards me, grab my nice little gripper, put my hand on the board, and turn the saw on. Bada bang, bada boom. It's safely done. Woohoo! Nice thin strip of plywood. And a piece cut out. Woohoo! Okay, so that is that piece of wood. We've got one more. How are you? How are you, bucko? How are you doing today? Oh, would you look at this bucko right here? Bucko slides just right through. This bucko is probably a little bit short by like an 1/8 of an inch, but no, it is short by a 16th. No. 16.5? So that would be 332? Ugh. Who measures things in 332s? Ooh, the other end is really bad. Okay, so that's what's going on. So the cut on this side is at least referenced against that is very not straight. But you know what? Chat. This stuff is called shop furniture. And the fun thing with shop furniture is you can say things like, who cares? You're the only one who's going to see it, so. So, that's running all my pieces through the table saw. I'm pretty confident Table Saw Coon can go take a nap for the rest of the night. We are good on Table Saw Coon because we pretty much got the panels cut out. Round over chamfer fixes that bit. I'm from Kentucky. Chamfer sounds like too much technology. Oh my goodness, my gracious. Okay, cool. So we've got a lot of that. Let's get a little bit further up. What are your opinion about Ogi? Lol. Okay, well, my first thing is I'm gonna have to look that up because apparently I'm stupid. Ogi beauty, clean, organic makeup, and skincare. Object element often seen in that has a serpentine or extended S shape. Why would you get this fancy? What? Huh? Okay, so this is basically just trade guys flexing. As far as I mean, honestly, as far as I can tell, like, this is just like being a trades guy flexing. Like, for shop furniture, no, this is very firm. I can very firmly say this is a no. I'm not into that. Now, if you have one in your router set, I saw it. Oh, darn it. Now I gotta go look at my router set, man. Granted, this is even called that. I'll be impressed if it's called that. Oh, it is called that! It's there! There it is. Labeled. I have no idea how to use it, though. Well, actually, if I'm being honest, the router bits intimidate me greatly. Just to be 100% honest, routers very much scare me. Like, this is scary stuff to me. These spin very fast and they behave strangely. But yeah, there it is. There's the magic router bit. It's right there. It's does a 1/4 cut. Poor thing will understandable. You should test the profiles on stream one day. I mean, I do want to get good at a router. That is definitely a thing I want to get good at some point. Now, granted, Dad's old shop. Granted, I saw you flexing. Well, you weren't necessarily flexing. You were just showing off your drill press. I want a drill press. I want to get a drill press before I get good with routers. Is what I want to do. Like, being good with routers is all fine and good, but I'd rather... I got that at Harbor Freight. Good old Harbor Freight. Taking care of us by getting us affordable tool. Well, giving us affordable tools. Okay, so dube rolling is a skill. I can see that. I can also see how that's not a skill for me. So let's go. So I do have a few more pieces I should consider cutting out the table saw, but admittedly we're an hour and a half in, and Jeepers Creepers, I may have vaguely, mistakenly promised some hand tool stuff, but granted, I also, if you get a drill press, get one with easy speed changes, manually change belts is annoying. That was actually one of my big thoughts, because I've actually been looking at drill presses, and I've seen the ones that have belts for speed changes, and I'm like, that looks like too much of a pain in the butt to me. I don't see myself being the type of person to really be like into wanting to manually change belts. I'm not into that life, man. But whew, let's see. I mean, if I got my heart's desires, if I could purchase drill press without concern of the wallet, I would get myself a Grizzly. As far as I can tell, based off what I've seen online, a Grizzly benchtop drill. Now, granted, there's a couple different models within their lineup, but that seemed like the best combination of features and price. Metal and wood use different speeds, so it's just a pain. That short head that at metal speed. That Foster bit was upset being run that fast. Yeah. Pierre Buntent did a PSA on Rick Menser on how to roll a joint. He did it a few months before he died, and yes, the prop weed was left with him. But yeah, I definitely want to, because I'm either looking at, if I don't buy a drill press used, because I am looking at the used market around me. I am keeping my eyeballs on that. I'm either looking at if I feel like being spendy, I might go with the Grizzly, or if I want to be a little bit more budget conscious, I'm thinking about going with a Jet. And I'm gonna be sticking with benchtop drill presses. I'm not getting into the floor drill presses. Floor drill press is a little too much drill press for me. I feel like the benchtop ones, like the mid to high end range of benchtop drill presses will probably be perfect for what I do. Like, yes, I work with wood. Yes, I have table saw. Yes, I have miter saw. I have various saws, various ways to manipulate wood, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and getting a drill press is definitely going to be a upgrade in fun. But I don't need the big thing. I feel like the build quality on my Jet. Oh, you have a combination jointer planer? Nice. And that's also like another reason why I'm looking at Jet. It's because I know Jet has good, like, fairly good build quality to them. Well, fairly good build quality to their tools. Like, drill press lets you cheat to make mortars as fast. Yes. Yes, Dazzle Chop. You hit the nail on all the heads. So that is a mark at 13 and How advanced do I want to get with this? Technically speaking, I could get advanced with this. I would need some stop blocks, though, to do what I wish to do. Whoa! Pencil! Come back to Sugi. Please and thank yous. Yep. I feel like I should probably get a little bit fancy with this. As long as I have the wood for it. Which... I have, but not in the shop, I don't think. Sure, that's what they use the oak wood for, right? Yeah, this is what we use oak for. I'll be manipulating engines. I don't have any room to work on anything. I have a big pile of tools. Takes forever to find anything. Oh, man. That life is a rough life, my friend. So, I got myself some pieces of the oaks. Some of them oak timbers, man. And by the way, this is also how you're supposed to use oak in woodworking projects. It's for some generic stop. Oh my goodness gracious. Gosh, what was it? There was a Gordon Ramsay video I recently saw. Yeah, it was the not Gordon Ramsay, Steve Ramsay's Woodworking for Mere Mortals. I saw his video on making snowflakes, Christmas snowflakes, at the table saw. And I was very tempted to do it. But, unlike him, he was using... So in the video, he uses mahogany wood, which mahogany has a very close grain to it. Well, it's very close pour, whereas the oak these two pieces of oak down here are they're red oak. They're very open poured, so wouldn't have the same look to them, especially if you're looking at the edge grain of the material. But one of my favorite comments I saw on that video was one of the first things he does in the video is he makes a push stick out of mahogany. And someone was like, okay, using mahogany to make a push stick is the woodworking equivalent of lighting a cigar. Sorry about that. Of lighting a cigar with $100 bill. And I just thought that was really funny. That was immensely funny to me. But yeah. So, the pieces of oak, they're going to keep the... Cadillac push stick. The good old Cadillac push stick. Made out of the mahogany. I believed in the marking tool. What did I do? How did I do this to myself? I dropped it, didn't I? Yes? No? Maybe? There was a marking tool. I believed in the idea of a marking tool. And then come up on those two marks. Come a little bit off that first mark. And that gets us there. Still don't know what happened to that first thing. There we go. Actually, no, I don't like that. I don't like that angle. I want my cut line to have I want to have a little bit more access to that. Because if I don't have good access to my cut line, I'm going to have a bad day. I know I'm going to be having a bad day. So. It is hand tool time. Oh man, I love buying from the Lowe's. It is cheap. It is cheap. Oh, dang it, Dad. We can't be dealing with your woos like that, man. Because of your woos like that, you're encouraging me. Okay, so we're just a hair bit longer than our 18 3/4, but I'm not gonna sweat that. If I'm a hair bit too long. Meh. If I'm a hair bit too long on it, then it's not gonna be too bad. Okay. Then I can just take that. Whoa! Oh no! Oh, that's what. Oh, that's what happened. Okay. I spilled beer. I should stop that by drinking it aggressively. Okay. Party foul. Well, the funny thing is I was pulling my board out, and when I was pulling it out, I had my handsaw laying on it. So when I pulled it out, I pulled my handsaw with it, and then the handsaw knocked over the beer. I was like, oh man. That's how you spill beer. That's how you spill beer in your shop. By the way. If you ever want to discover the meta for that. So. Those are my 18 3/4. We're going to set the tape measure off to the side. Because I want 2 18 3/4. I want 2 of the 18 3/4. Not you. Be right there. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And let's get to the cross-cutting side. Line it up. Dog caught it with the saw. Maybe not super ideal, but caught nonetheless. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. We like that. We like that. And then check. We are technically just a hair bit short on actually this one. Saw that wood. Saw that wood. Saw... Oh my goodness gracious. Dad's old shop. I have other tools for sawing wood, sir. I have other tools for that. I don't have to do it this way. There's other ways. There's other ways. And I'm not even talking about this way. I'm not even talking about using electricity to do the work. I could use gasoline to do the work. That's the aggressive way to cut wood. Is using karate? No. Chainsaw Kun. Now, it would be fun to actually just do a woodworking stream where I do all my cuts with the chainsaw. That would be really funny. I think it would be really funny. To go down the chainsaw route. Not sure how the YouTube algorithm would like that, though. I could see it either being very approving or very disapproving. And it's going to be either one of those two. For my next cut, do I want 25 and a half? 25 and a half! And handle sounds just hit different. Oh, man. Don't underestimate chainsaw noises, man. Chainsaw noises hit different. The world needs more chainsaw tool noises. At least as far as the internet's concerned. So I think. I might think wrong, but that's what I think. Okay. Holy smokes. I'm binding in that. No, I'm not. No more. No more binding. I made a banana box bed for old Hector. He immediately crawled in. Had to rub his belly to make sure there was belly rubbing room. Yeah, you gotta make sure there's belly rubbing room. Very important. So it's time to do a check doodles. We want 25 and a half, and I gotta say, we got really close on that. Like, that's pretty much perfect. So that's another piece cut out. And a few more sips of my NA beer. So we're getting to the end of our piece here. So I'm going to do my next measurement here from the other end. So we're going to want 25 and a half inches from the other side. There's marking tools around here. Sugi believes in the idea of marking tools. I'm not good at the marking tools, but granted, you know what? Whoop! You guys will actually get a break from me playing with tools, though. Because next week, I'm not doing one, but 2 gaming streams. Gasp! Scandalous! How could you betray our expectations like that? And it's like, guess what? I do what I want. Plus, also, I'm on call next week, so. And I'm currently anticipating my on call to be. It jumped. Don't jump. I'm anticipating my time to being on call to being busy. So I'm going to be doing I'm going to kind of like, we're going to just take it a little bit easy on the crafting streams. Yes. Nothing like a good scandal, you know? Mm-hmm. Hey, you know, the internet does like a good scandal, right? Right? You guys absolutely just love it when I just take your expectations and then just chuck them against the rocky shore. Now, granted, one of the streams I'm going to be doing is going to be playing Go. Damn it. I need pliers. Pliers! Give me my linemans, my linemans. Holy smokes. That kerosene really warms up the shop. Wait. It's on the floor now. Oh well. Ziggy said scandal go. Oh gosh. Yep, that's the kind of Oshi I am. I just build your expectations up to just break them. Okay. So, we've got another piece of wood here. Come on down. Let's get my saw over here. Get this. Get that locked in. There we go. And then that supports it fairly well. Now, get to figure out what I need to do here. Because I actually got to cut a couple of things. Which I think I can get one of those things off that small offcut. I want the first two things I'm going to want two 24-inch pieces. Two 24-inch pieces, okay. That's close to what I want. There we go. Give ourselves a little bit of breathing room here. But hey, you know what? One of the games I'm going to be playing is I'm going to be playing a little bit of the Go. Because a fellow VTuber was like, hey, I want to teach streamers Go. It's like, hey, Sugi, you okay with learning Go? And I was like, sure. Now, granted, I actually played a little bit of Go prior to the Nando stream, but I do like how the site that he shared did a lot of the scoring automatically and such, because that was actually a thing that was kind of confusing because the first couple of times I played Go were on an actual physical board, and Yes, there's instructions with that. Yes, there's ways to do the scoring, but it's not necessarily super intuitive. And also, this is how you use red oak to open a beer bottle. Uh-oh. Cheers. Which we're still playing with tools, so we're going to keep it non-alcoholic. For safety reasons, because you gotta at least believe in the idea of safety. No, I am wearing my eye protection after all, you know? Uh-oh. Yeah, just send that all straight into the bench, Sugi. Truck time! Well, chat, that certainly does look like 24 inches of board right there. It's a damn shame when it actually works out right, because that really interferes with the union brakes, you know? It really interferes with the union brakes. Pro? No. No. We're amateurs. It's amateur hour here. But I'm a proud amateur, though. I'm a very proud amateur. Oh, wait. Hey, you. Stay put. Oh, put my thumb on the mark. That's less than ideal. Up on the mark. Roughly around there. There we go. Sip beer. I found out this week there's a Haikyuu mobile game. It's pretty fun. Oh no, not a Haikyuu mobile game. Haikyuu's good enough as is. We don't need more good Haikyuu. It's fully voice acted and everything? Oh no. And what I probably need to do is give this a little bit more slack. Woo! Also give the final movie. Don't want to read the manga. I mean, honestly, I'm more than happy to wait. I am genuinely. Jeepers creepers! This guy cannot be getting away with this. I absolutely cannot be like. Wait. Why do you do that? Oh, come on. I want to get a thumbnail. A shot. There we go. Granted, the next cuts are much shorter because we are doing 4 9-inch cuts. Immature hour for results. I'm not always good at what I do. But when I am good at what I'm doing, there's a beer nearby. Oh, jeepers creepers. Ooh, this is a little bit. That was a little bit loose. Pop out. Please and thank you. Dipper doodles. Mark there. Mark there. Okay. Being an enthusiast. Darn marking tools. Woo! Oh. Okay. Aw, man. Just keep getting away with it. Jiminy Crickets. Now, granted, my cuts aren't super straight, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares? Eh. One mark. 2 mark. There we go. Wedge that in. Now that was being a little bit wiggly. Might want to extend that line out a little bit. Let's see how line number 2 falls in. If we stay on the other side of our line, we should be good. Should be good. So we want to come out on, we want to stay to one side. Oil boy. Doing okay-ishly good. That one was a little bit short, but cut quality could definitely be better. But you know what? The fun thing about this project is, at the end of the day, it's just shop furniture. So, the good thing about shop furniture is just furniture that you see. So, you just have to be happy with what you make at the end of the day. Okay. Let's see, here we'll do the good old classic. Measure twice, cut once. So I want to be on this side of my line for those reasons. Goodness gracious, it has really warmed up in the shop. It's nearly 70 degrees in here. Very warm. That kerosene really puts out some heat. Okay, so we want to be on this side of our line. So we'll Gosh, this wood's so light. Granted, that's the thing with like really cheap pine board is pretty close, pretty close. Cut quality is still not super great, but not worried about it for these 9-inch pieces. Really not worried about it for these pieces. So just got nice and wedged. Tape measure. Some marks. Get the speed square out. And there we go. We have a line. We'll check our line. Line looks pretty good. And it's cut. Whew. Tape measure. Oh, look, another 420 alert. And a 420 alert. Oh, man. Pretty good. Pretty good. Whew. So I've got the majority of my pieces cut out. yeah, I just need one more 10-inch piece by 3/4 out of this, which... Actually, I wonder, do I've got just a piece of 3/4 lying around in my scraps? Because this seems... Because this piece right here seems really close to what I want. Really close. Because I want it to be 3/4. Well, admittedly, it's half. It's half. So it's not quite as... It's not quite as thick. But it's off by 1/4. And I need it for a drawer pull. I wonder if I could just live with it. Or, honestly... Yeah, that might be the way to go about it, actually. That's probably the way to go about that. So, here's the way to go about the drawer pull. The drawer pull, I need 10 inches of 3/4 material. So, this is actually... This is a 1x3, I think. Or a 1x2. This is a 1x2. Yeah, it's a 1x2. Yeah, so I need 10 inches off this for a drawer pull. And since it's already got reasonably like sanded edges, I think this is going to be like a good piece for the drawer pull. And this also just kind of uses up some of this material I have lying around. So... Ba-bing, ba-boom. Drawer pull. So that gets me drawer pull, and the remainder of my stock, which is this piece here and the piece I have down there, those are those are just scraps for a later time. So, boy oh boy, what a productive day. We didn't get all the pieces of wood batched out. I still have a few more to do. They're slightly more complicated cuts at the table saw. Didn't quite get those done. But I am honestly going to be wrapping up for today simply because my bladder is about to explode. That's really what it comes down to, is my bladder is about to explode. But hey, that's what happens when I don't do a bathroom break during stream, is I get to a point where it's like, oh dearie, my bladder's about to explode. So I would like to say thank you very much to everyone who's tuned in, especially to you, Mr. Spock, and Dad's Little Chop. Next stream will be on Tuesday. We'll be playing Go. So yeah, it's going to be something a little bit different around here, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And hope all of you have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you're at. Heaven forbid it already be Monday. And this is Sugi Yamagawa. Stay safe, stay warm out there. See you around next time. Bye-bye.